Welcome back, everybody, to another Matsu Minor YouTube channel broadcast. I'm Landon Stilz. Dylan VanderVeen will be joining us from the field and up here in the booth in just a moment. But it's another saga and battle between the Miners and the visiting Anchorage Glacier Pilots. It's been a couple of days off for your home team after a rain delay that has pushed the game against Chugiak to the 17th for a doubleheader, and yesterday a true and scheduled off day. Miners looking for win number 10 in a row. They already have 15 wins and sit atop the ABL with the Bucks 5 games behind them, but the team behind the Bucks is the team they're playing today, the Anchorage Glacier Pilots, and Dylan got a chance to talk and catch up with pitching coach Steve Hecker before the game. Dylan?
Miners fans, here with Coach Steve Hecker. A couple of shutout wins against the Anchorage Glacier Pilots, 3 total on the season against this team. What have you seen from your pitching staff to shut this team down?
We just have a similar plan for every game. We just kind of get after it. We just try to locate pitches early and then kind of land, extend, and then expand, So just keep hitters off balance and just do our thing.
And what have you kind of told Connor Mundy as well as the rest of your pitching staff going into today to get the 7th win out of 8 games against the Glacier Pilots?
I think it comes down to just confidence in what they have. Every pitcher on our staff, they came here and they're good quality players, and they just need a little confidence boost and just believe in themselves and trust what they can do. And they don't have to go outside of that. As long as they stay within what they're capable of doing, good things are going to happen.
Perfect. Thank you, Coach.
Great talking to pitching coach Steve Hecker for the first time this year. Kind of joked around a little bit with Tyler Brunn, not sitting him up after a couple of shutout wins. But, yeah, first time talking to him. Now, Connor Mundy is on the bump today. Had a couple of very good outings, including one against this Anchorage Bucks team. 5 1/3 shutout innings. Is a very good pitching staff so far for this Miners team. And I got to talk to Connor Mundy as well on the mic.
Miners fans, here with starting pitcher Connor Mundy on the bump today for the Matsu Miners. Last time you faced against the Anchorage Glacier Pilots, 5 1/3 scoreless innings. What are you looking to do against them today?
I'm looking to keep it simple, to do the same thing, either find their sequences and their patterns, work off that, just hammer some inside fastballs, get them off point, and then break them away with some off speed, especially get some of those changeups righty on righty. It seems to be effective just for me. I got a good feel with it. It seems to get them looking and everything else, but definitely going to work on some of that cutter action today. And since I'm developing it, but I mean, this team struggles with off speed for sure, so I'm going to try to hammer that a lot today.
And it seems like the pitching staff has done a really good job of limiting the free bags in the last few games, especially on this 9-game winning streak. Is that something that you're going to focus on to do today?
I'm not going to worry about it too much. I mean, I know my zone. I know how to control it, know how to get the strikes and the calls that I need. So as long as I don't think about it and just attack the hitter, make him, challenge him, see if he can put the ball in play, I won't have to worry about it.
Perfect. Thank you.
And also now it's time for a new edition after that interview with Connor Mundy. It's time a new edition for the Player of the Week. The Week 4 Player of the Week is the shortstop from Sonoma Pitzer, Greg Parentoni. Parentoni had a amazing week over these past 2 games. Lots of hits, lots of RBIs. Dylan had a chance to catch up with him today before today's game for our Player of the Week interview.
Hey, Miners fans, here with another Player of the Week, Greg Parentoni this week. The shortstop that we call Greg-alicious for his flashy plays in the field, but over a 500 batting average this week at the plate. What were you kind of seeing?
I think this week just did a better job of swinging it, good pitches, so my pitch selection was better. And I was talking to James actually a few days ago, just saying how it's so much easier to hit when everyone else is on base. So I think the offense being really hot lately has helped my success, and it's really easy to do a job when there's a lot of opportunities to do one.
It seems like every week there's a different player that goes 4 for 4, has a fantastic week. How do you feed off each other from this team?
Yeah, I think whenever we're doing well, hitting's contagious, so there's always going to be a guy that can come through. And I think our offense has just been really confident this year, no matter what the score is. We know if we're even up by a lot, down by a lot, that we can still have a good shot to win a game, so I think that's been really helpful for everyone.
And you're a very good shortstop. We call you Greg-alicious for a reason. I don't know if you necessarily love the name or not, but
yeah.
We kind of joke around with it a little bit on the broadcast.
Yeah.
But how do you make these flashy plays and just keep yourself in a mental ball game that's so hard to play at the shortstop position?
Yeah, I like the nickname. It's catching on a little bit. I think just taking reps in BP, especially live reads off the bat, is helpful. And I think our pitchers have been doing a good job of throwing strikes, so just when the games are shorter, they're throwing strikes, it's easier to stay locked in the whole time.
Perfect. Well, Player of the Week, Greg Parentoni for Week 4. We'll be back with Week 5 with another Player of the Week.
Congratulations to Greg Perantoni on winning Player of the Week after a fantastic week batting over 500. The Greg Galicious himself wins that award, as we were joking around on his interview. But when we come back, it is the Miners and it's the Anchorage Glacier Pilots for the 8th time this year, coming from Herman Brothers Field. Welcome into Herman Brothers Field for another round of Miners baseball. It's the Matsu Miners and the Anchorage Glacier Pilots on a gorgeous, or I should say non-gorgeous day on a Wednesday night, as the wind is picked up insanely throughout our pregame broadcast. It'll be kind of bouncing off the fence a little bit to start off this game, but another start for Connor Mundy from Sam Houston State. We'll flash his stats on the screen for you here in just a second. He's been excellent so far for this team. He's pitched to a 3.86 ERA, 1-0 start, 16 total innings pitched over his 4 games. All of them, I believe, start so far on this season. 242 batting average against him. He has been excellent. The one relief appearance that he had was not as great as his starts, but the last couple have been excellent. He had one start against the Anchorage Glacier Pilots, 5 1/3. You heard that on the pregame interview we did with Connor Mundy before the game. And we are set and underway for the Miners and Glacier Pilots. So far this season, they have played a total of 7 times, Landon, and 6 of them have come out as Miner wins.
Yeah, and 3 of those have been shutouts. The Miners pitching staff has done a really good job of shutting down this Glacier Pilots offense, and the only time that the Glacier Pilots were able to win was via the walk-off. They scored their most runs against the Miners, this season in 7. And the Miners, since that real loss, have really just ran away with this series.
A couple of exciting games to start off between the Glacier Pilots and the Miners. That 7-6 walk-off for the Pilots and the 5-4 walk-off win that Rich Erickson had to get the first conference win of the year.
There's only been 3 walk-offs so far in the league, 2 of which the Miners have been a part of.
1-1 coming from Connor Mundy. Too far downstairs, possibly a little bit away as well. 2-1 to start out on the count. Talked to Monday on that pregame interview talking about how good this team has been on limiting the free bags on this 9-game winning streak. The 2-1 is going to go too far downstairs again. It's 3-1 now, and a hitter's count is Dylan Marks.
And yeah, you mentioned those freeze bags is Mundy's in a position to potentially give up one here in the walk to Marks, but it would be a game of 2 walks, 1 walk, maybe a 1 walk and a hit by pitch.
So a 5-pitch walk to start things out for Connor Mundy. Dylan Marks takes first on a offense that has just not found its rhythm yet this year for the Anchorage Glacier Pilots. Just a $199. The team as a whole is batting underneath the Mendoza line this year.
Yeah, and it's really been they haven't found their swings when they need to. Again, this is a team with 8 wins. They're only 2 games back of potentially making the top of the World Championship behind the Bucks. That is a spot that is most likely going to be decided this upcoming weekend. The Bucks and the Glacier Pilots play each other for 3 games in a row, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, for something called the Mayor's Cup down in Anchorage between the 2 teams. They play it every year. Whoever most likely wins that set will be most likely playing the Miners in the top of the World Championship.
Ball skied into left field. Bilters tracking it down with the wind blowing. And it will be 1 away as Dylan Marks goes and retreats back to first.
And the wind is going to be a very huge factor to keep an eye on, not just for our own sake so our camera doesn't fall over, but for a lot of these outfielders. Any fly ball, you're really going to have to keep an eye on. You can't get complacent because one gust of wind can completely change the trajectory of where you're going and where the ball's going.
Pitcher Mundy lands on the outside corner. 0-1 starts. Dylan Marks on to the 5-pitch walk at the start of the inning. Fly out into left field, and now the third batter, Andrew Becker. Second offering to Becker from Mundy on the bump is slicing towards left field and landing well out of play. Andrew Becker, one of the 2 qualified batters hitting over 220 on this team, him and Adam Burkle. The 0-2 is fouled away. He's staying alive as Becker, using a defensive swing.
And Burkle and Becker were really in that last 5-0 win over the Glacier Pilots back on Sunday. Those 2 were the only threat, really, that the Miners had to get through. Gavin Blackowitz gave up a double to Becker, and then Becker got picked off at second. Burkholt then hit a double. So the only chance they had for a run was because of these 2.
Strike 3 called for Connor Mundy. Really good breaking pitch lands in there for the second out. So recovering very well after the early walk to Dylan Marks. Number 15 in Adam Burkle. Only batter hitting over 300 on the year. That's qualified for the Glacier Pilots. 314 with the 462 on base. It's got a bit of more of an outlier for this Glacier Pilots team than consistent. After the 0-1, trying to get another strike is Mundy. Heading too far downstairs. Didn't have a ball in his last count. Goes to a 1-1 to Burkle. One try is back towards the batter's box. And it is out of play into the bleachers. Luckily, everybody's okay. Didn't seem like anybody really was too keen to move, as it is a cold day, and they're humbled in their blankets and everything like that. Not as easy to move, but
I can't lie, Dylan. I kind of wish I had a blanket right now. Even up in the press box with the wind, it's kind of sometimes blowing in. I'm getting chilly, so I don't know how you're doing in your shorts and a T-shirt.
Yeah, I'm doing okay, but Blake Incarnacion asked me when I was on the field earlier, and he was like, "Are you cold?" And I was like, "Yeah, I woke up and it said 62 degrees, and it's not what it is with the wind chill."
Especially no sun out either.
1-2 into left field. That will land in front of Bilter. Stopping at second is Marks. It will be a couple of soldiers on base against Mundy with 2 away. Just a couple of hits for the Glacier Pilots in their last shutout loss against the Miners. 2 total hits, and they've got 1 in the first inning. Polanco now. Pitched a couple of, I believe, 3 total innings against the Miners the last time he faced them, as they're having some issues with some of their pitching staff, and did really well shutting down the Miners for 3 straight innings.
Even got a strikeout, a position player coming in and getting a strikeout, not only just on anybody, it was off of Carter Geffrey, one of the best hitters in all of the ABL.
The 0-1 to Polanco. Misses outside, 1s apiece. Polanco is 3 of his last 9. Has gotten home 3 RBIs in the last 2 games against the Anchorage Bucks and the Eagle River Chinooks. The 1-1 is pumped into right center field. Going back is Espinoza. He'll make the catch close to the wall, and that'll do it for the top of the first. We're going to the bottom half. Miners keep a 0 on the board. First chance to strike.
Connor Mundy, Sam Houston State.
Kay Narn, Bowling Green State University.
It's close to home, and I thought it was a good fit for me.
Close to home as well. Great coaches, great team. Love it there.
Coach had a connection, and I had some teammates last year that came up here. They developed really well. I thought it'd be a good chance for me to develop as well.
A teammate of mine my freshman year went here, and he showed me some pictures, and thought it was really cool, and I wanted to experience it.
Put on weight, first of all. Meet new friends, and go win some ball games.
I'd say meet new people, develop as a baseball player, and just see some different wildlife I'm not used to.
Either you want to see a bear?
Do I want to see a bear? I would love to see a bear.
Same here. I'd love to see a bear.
Especially a moose.
Saw a baby moose yesterday.
Did you?
Yeah.
I would say Major League.
Vaughn into the windup in his first offering. Just a bit outside. He tried the corner and missed.
And Fast and Furious 5.
I'll go with Sandlot and the Benchwarmers.
I caught it. You're out.
But I ticked it. It hit the bat.
You're still out.
You're still back.
Don't touch the white line.
I'll say don't touch the white line either.
Ooh, Larry the Lobster.
I'll go Patrick.
Does Patrick laugh right now?
Ha 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 ha.
Welcome back on the Miners broadcast. It will be Elliot Medlock, Carter Eberhard, and Carter Geffrey. The first 3. Ridge Erickson will be the 4 batter. Pretty consistent 2 through 4 for the Miners in the last few games, as first throwdown is down for Anderson, and we are set for the bottom of the first. Pitcher on the bump for the Anchorage Glacier Pilots in number 28. Finn Chapman from St. Mary's, California.
Yeah, Chapman's going to be against a very right-handed, heavy Miners lineup. There are 3 lefties, which is the most the Miners can spare, as the first pitch from Chapman just skies over Medlock's head. He has to duck out of the way.
Saw that from one of the pitchers for the Glacier Pilots way earlier in the year that actually played at Regis, and Owen Monier, who actually I don't believe he had another pitching performance in the ABL after that, so to see what happened with that. But Chapman, last time he pitched was back on July 3rd, as that's high and inside. 2-0 to the batter and Elliot Medlock. got a day off after he came back for his first game after missing 5 games due to a hamstring injury. Just wanted to give him an extra day off. No need to rush anything. 2-0 to Medlock. Into center field. Sending Becker back a good amount of ways, but it's going to stay in the ballpark for the first out.
And Becker was taking that to the left side of the 390 sign in dead center field, and then you just see the flag out in center field blowing left to right. Took him a good few steps past on the right side of the 390. It's going to be what I would like to call an outfielder's nightmare today for anybody in the outfield.
Now Carter Eberhard, a California Baptist star, one of the 2 stars on this team. Carter Eberhard and Michael Malke hailing from CBU. One 1-0 so far to the talented first baseman. Slider goes inside to a 2-0, misses as he ran off the plate. Eberhard batting a over 300 so far on the year, 384 on the on-base percentage. The 2-0 fouled off to a 2-1. One of the guys that started a little slow for the Miners, but has very much picked it up with 14 total RBIs on his summer, 19 total games played. This is game 20 out of the 21 in the regular season. As Eberhard's over to first base, he'll be out there for the second out. And fellow first baseman gets out Carter Eberhard to bring up Carter Geffrey.
Now batting, your catcher, number 48, Carter Geffrey.
Geffrey, one of the scarier hitters in all of the ABL, both in size and the stat book. First offering is too far downstairs. 1-0 start to the talented Iowa catcher. Finn Chapman mentioned last time he pitched was back on July 3rd. Through 3 innings, gave up 3 runs over 5 hits against the Eagle River Chinooks. Geffrey into deep to center field. Becker's underneath and makes the catch there on the line out to 8. 1-2-3 for the Miners. We're going to the top of the second. Still no score. Connor Mundy back on the bump for his second inning worth of work. Good throw down by Carter Geffrey, and we are underway. For the top of the second, it's B.J. Rodriguez, two-way player in this league, Hasn't done it well with the batting average so far on the year. Just at a $154 coming into this game. Does have the on-base percentage. We mentioned that every time that we face against B.J. Rodriguez, the on-base percentage number is there at .348. But thanks to those 16 walks that he's accumulated, double the amount of hits that he's got on the year. He's got 8 hits compared to those 16 walks. The 1-0 is too far inside to go to a 2-0 count. Rodriguez hails from Fresno State. Connor Mundy from Sam Houston State. Trying not to start with another walk. Walk Dylan Marks in the top of the first inning to start off the game. Finds a strike to Rodriguez. It'll go 2-1. The 2-1 offering is set on its way from Mundy. Over to the right side and through the hole between Medlock and Eberhard. And that will be the second hit of the day for the Glacier Pilots, already tying their total in their last 9 innings where they got shut out.
Yeah, Mundy is sort of leaving some pitches up right now in the zone right now and teasing one of the more consistent hitters within this lineup. Can potentially come through with Rodriguez on first. Rodriguez, a guy with a lot of speed, which is something Mundy needs to be careful for.
Teasing hammers a ball towards left field, but well foul. Teasing sets back in for his next offering from Mundy. Rodriguez waits on first. Swing and a miss. Beautiful breaking pitch that slid off the plate to an 0-2. Very windy day from Herman Brothers Field. So windy that we're worried about the cameras. As 0-2 coming from the Sam Houston State product. Breaking ball in for a called strike 3. Started in the attic, ended in the basement, and there is one away in the top of the second.
And that's something that Mundy talked about in his pregame interviews. He wanted to set up that breaking ball pitch inside of those right-handed hitters, and he's had great success against that today. The hit against Rodriguez obviously came from the left-hander's batter's box. So when you're throwing, trying to get that breaking ball into more of a better spot where you can get in on the left-hander's hands, that's when you tend to see that pitch get left up in the zone and put in play, which is exactly what Rodriguez did and what he has to avoid here against the next batter for the Glacier Pilots.
Is that righty on lefty? Christensen stepping up now. Ryan Christians came over a little bit late from Sacramento State. His family, big Sacramento State people, as his dad is the coach over at Sacramento State.
And Christensen was a late addition to this team, came in a couple of weeks ago. He was first introduced to us, I believe, back on the 26th.
He's just one of 33 so far in the ABL to start off his season. Check try is not going to get Rodriguez. Decent move from Mundy, and off to focus at the plate. The 1-1 is inside and low. Gets by Geffrey. What will be down as a wild pitch. And Rodriguez ends up freely at second base and is taking a long look off of the base as well. And now will retreat back. Christensen, the one hit was an RBI single against the Bucks back on the 4th of July. That was not in the league play, however, as that's fouled back and do it again. Two and two counts to the Sac State kid. Two and two try is a breaking ball that is spoiled off to the right side. Christensen overall on league play 0 of 28 so far in qualified ABs that count to the statistic book. Two and two again. Curveball bounced towards the plate, goes to a full count.
And a walk here for Mundy is not necessarily the worst thing in the world. You don't want to give up that second free bag for stats purposes. But if you put a guy back on first, that moves the double play back in order after Rodriguez was able to get to second on that first pass ball.
3-2 delivery from Connor Mundy. Poke towards right field, and it is going way back and is foul. Wow, that might be the farthest hit we've seen to right field this year, but it lands foul.
Christensen got all of that pitch, and Connor Mundy is lucky it was windy out because the wind certainly caught a lot of that ball and pulled it into foul territory.
That would have been the first hit of the summer, as I mentioned. 0 of 28, was 1 for 5 in the 2 4th of July games. Swing and a miss. Mundy gets the strikeout after a long 400-foot foul ball, and there's 2 away.
And something to take notice of that I just noticed, Christensen is using a torpedo bat.
See, I'm not a huge believer in the torpedo bat stuff, man. I could see how that could be like different, but if you have a preference of a different bat over the torpedo, I don't think there's like a huge science to where it helps you significantly.
I mean, I would argue personally that it would, because for the first 3 weeks of the MLB season, Anthony Volpe looked like a good hitter when he was using a torpedo bat. So that's my argument.
That's a small sample size to go off of one person, though.
Yeah, but Anthony Volpe sucks.
So it gets a little bit easier after the balk that puts Rodriguez at third. It is Mundy now with a 1-0 count. Catcher in Anderson taking this 1-0 count. Zachary Anderson hailing from Ohio State. The 1-0 is over to the left side, fielded by Grout. Great backhanded play to end the inning and not let the run come across in Rodriguez. Carson Grout. What a play.
Go ahead. I'm Luke Wilson. I went to Johnson University.
I'm Carson Grout. I went to the University of Iowa.
It was recommended to me by my coach, and I had not heard any bad things about Alaska. I thought it was a good opportunity.
Yeah, same with me. My coach said that they reached out, and I figured it'd be an awesome opportunity. Always wanted to go to Alaska, so it'll be fun.
I know the script to Monsters, Inc., and there's just really never been a time to whip that out.
I can drive a manual, but there's like no manual vehicles anymore, so it feels pretty useless.
To memory, I've never caught a fish, so I like to catch fish.
I can hop in.
Yeah, I think you should hop in.
Definitely want to go on a hike. Definitely want to fish, and then probably see a bear. I hope I see a bear.
Oh, yeah, I want to see a bear, and then a moose. I want to see a bear and a moose.
I always put my left sock on first.
Yeah.
It's not that big of a deal.
I'll go left and then right.
You guys both put your left sock on first?
Yeah, it feels right.
It feels so weird to put my right sock on
If
first.
I put the right one on, I'll have a bad day.
I actually can't do it.
Yeah.
Top 2 movies are Interstellar and The Prestige.
Top Gun and Top Gun Maverick.
Wow.
Okay, we'll go one more.
Hobby?
I love to golf and just be outdoors.
I like to play NBA 2K16.
Why specifically NBA 2K16?
Because I had an Xbox One and I played NBA 2K16 and the other games were like $100, so I've stuck with that one since 2015.
Fair enough.
Zero game. We're in the top of the second now. It is Ridge Erickson. Erickson off to the left side where Grout just made that play and all the way across the diamond for the outs. Really good plays by both third basemen. Teasing making this play as Grout just ended the last inning with one.
And Chapman's done a really good job to get through the first 4 in the order that's given so many pitching staffs problems in Medlock, Eberhard, Geffrey, and Erickson. Getting now to Bilter, who is no piece of cake either, but good showing from Chapman early so far if you're a Pilots fan.
Downstairs to the Colorado School of Mines, product Evan Bilter. Shout out the nickname of Captain Clutch that Landon thought of for Evan Bilter the last time we were on the broadcast. Not sure if Bilter's heard that one yet. I actually did not mention that to him when I was talking to him. So 2-0 to the Brainiac of Bilter.
You can also call him Brainiac.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, he is. 2-1.
I feel like Brainiac's a good one, too.
Yeah, I feel like there's 2 captain clutches on this team. You know what I mean? Carter Eberhard and Evan Bilter have been really good. Lincoln Stevenson, too. Three and one in the hitters' counts for Evan Bilter. Espinoza waits on deck to take his swings. With a 3-1 is inside as well low. And a 5-pitch walk for Bilter with 1 out, and it gives a chance for Espinoza with a runner on.
Espinoza batting right around 286 right now with a 400 on-base percentage. He has a couple of RBIs as well in a very young ABL campaign.
Espinoza coming from UCLA, came over really late. If you've been on the broadcast with us before, you would know that. And a couple of weeks, Espinoza's had some pretty good numbers so far on the season. Carson Grout, the other lefty, waits in after the face against the righty and Chapman. Espinoza, the delivery is in there for a strike. 1 apiece now. Chapman from St. Mary's, California. Espinoza from UCLA. Check it. Bilter is not in time. One and one with 1 out. The delivery is too far downstairs on the breaking pitch. 2-1 now. Wonder if anything with Bilter's speed, if he might take off here.
Like you said, Dylan, Bilter's got great speed. Had a couple of stolen bags this year at Colorado School of Mines. He has a few this year as well so far in the ABL season.
He is taking off. Here's the delivery from Anderson. It is a perfect throw, and Bilter's dead in the water. There is 2 outs. What a toss by Zachary Anderson.
Doesn't matter how good your speed is. Beautiful throw from Anderson to get Bilter. Bilter had a decent jump, but Anderson's pop time was second to none.
One of the better throws I've seen in the ABL so far this year from the kid from Ohio State and Cypress College. That one too far downstairs. Espinoza will get on base due to a 5-pitch walk, but there is 2 outs. But don't look anywhere for the end of the inning, as the Miners' 2-out hitting has been by far the best in the ABL.
Absolutely. There's been games where our head coach, Tyler Brunn, is texting us like, hey, how many 2-out hits do we have today? How many 2-out RBIs did we have today? This is a Miners team that can string together a strand of hits no matter the count and no matter how many outs there are in the inning.
Grout takes a strike on the outside corner. Lincoln Stevenson, the batter after Grout in the 8th spot. Then is Greg Parentoni batting at the end of the order. Perfect guy to flip the order back to the top in Greg Parentoni, who's our player of the week. Hopefully you got to see that interview before the game. Did it about 5 minutes before the game, but Parentoni having himself a real good week. Carson Grout kind of looking to get back into the shape of things as the wind is really starting to pick up at Herman Brothers. You can see it shaking the fence.
And there goes the synergy camera.
Yep, down goes Pedro's camera, not ours. Grout is into shallow left field, racing for it's Rodriguez. He can't make the play. Espinoza read it perfectly. He ends up at third, and it's runners at the corners as Grout finds the empty outfield.
Yeah, with those 2 outs, Espinoza was going to keep running no matter what, and the wind just taking that ball in a big gust of wind pulled Rodriguez really from left field sort of into shallow, right almost by where the shortstop was in Marks. Marks couldn't track it down, neither could Rodriguez, and a bloop single sets the Miners up with runners at the corners as I'll go fix the camera for Pedro.
That delivery too high. Upstairs 1-0 to Stevenson. That ball is out of play, trailed off to the right side. Espinoza got on via walk. Carson Grout singled. It is now 1st and 3rd and a ball and a strike to the Central Missouri Mule as he'll take inside 2-1. Stevenson, another guy who's really came on for the Miners, who was a later addition as that ball's fouled off to the right side. Just behind Andrew Becker in total RBIs, the center fielder for the Glacier Pilots for the ABL, with 18 total for Lincoln Stevenson with Love, number 19 here. 2-2, floating curve in and off the plate. Possibly a little bit high as well to a 3-2 count. Grout more than likely will take out from first on this pitch with the 3-2. Payoff from Finn Chapman to Lincoln Stevenson. Fouled away and spoiled.
And something to keep an eye on with Stevenson now on a full count. Potential bases loaded situation coming up for Greg Parentoni, the player of the week.
Parentoni, the over 500 batting average this week. Got to talk to him. It was a really great interview. Talk about how Greg, they just really blend with each other, and it's easy to hit when everybody else is hot as well. 3-2 coming from Finn Chapman. Slider off the plate, and it will be a bases juice situation with the guy in the Player of the Week award in Greg Parentoni. just talking about it, and now he'll get his chance.
Parentoni enjoyed the off day as well yesterday. We ran into him along with Michael Malky, Carter Geffrey, and Carson Grout yesterday over in Hatcher's Pass. Was just probably my favorite spot in Alaska so far.
Parentoni takes too far downstairs. Want to know? I don't know. Lazy Mountain was pretty cool too. But Hatcher's Pass. Yeah, the
can you
views
really?
bleed.
I
Yeah,
mean,
the
the
views
view
beat
was
it.
great, but I mean, Lazy Mountain didn't have that snow slide.
That's true. That is true. 1-0 into right field, sinking fast, but underneath is Christensen. The Miners threaten but cannot plate anything. It's a 0-0 game. Top of the third on its way. Dylan Marks leading things out for the Anchorage Glacier Pilots against Connor Mundy. Back here on the Miners broadcast, Dylan VanderVeen, Landon Stilz to my right, bringing all the Miners action all season long. Shout out to Napa Auto Parts for sponsoring our broadcast as down goes Petra's camera again. 1-0 too far downstairs, 2-0 to Dylan Marks. Walked his first time around, 5 total pitches seen. One of them was a strike for Mundy, but ended up walking him on 5 total pitches. High fastball to a 3-0 now.
Yeah, and we've seen Mundy sort of missing his spots. Yes, he has 4 Ks, but giving up a walk already today, giving up some base hits, almost gave up a moonshot of a home run. Mundy has left either some pitches up in the zone or completely missed, which is something very uncharacteristic for him.
Downstairs, Marks will take a walk and was just on 4 pitches, so 9 pitches total seen by Dylan Marks today, and 8 of them have been balls.
If I'm Connor Mundy right now after giving up this leadoff 4-pitch walk, he needs to go back with those working with him. Against a lefty like Ruby, it's going to be difficult because what works for him is that slider inside against right-handed pitchers. If he can get it to go in on the hands of Ruby, then we could see some soft contact, potentially a weak ground ball to first.
One in there for a 1-1 now. One and one going to a 2-1. Talk about how good Connor Mundy's been, and sometimes he needs to do a little bit of walks. 9 total walks coming into this performance, 11 total now to his 19 total Ks, including this performance. 2-1 downstairs, sporting some pretty cool shoes. I was talking about him a little bit with the cleats. I believe those are the Francisco Lindors that he's wearing on the bum. Highlighting the neon green and orange on his cleats. That is a swing and a miss for Ruby, and we'll go to a full count. Dylan Marks waits off of first. He's on with no outs for the second time in this game. The 3-2 is into shallow right field. It falls quickly and will land in front of Espinoza. Marks moves up 90 feet. Ruby is on, and the first 2 batters against Mundy have reached base in the top of the third.
I mean, Dylan, like you say, Mundy is technically only 1 out away. Or 1 pitch away, excuse me.
Always 1 pitch. Yeah, always one pitch away from getting that double play. Offering in there for a strike. Never called a triple play. That would be something.
Maybe you get your chance here.
It would be a hot shot to grout like we've already had. Can start that off. The 1 to Becker. Fouled off into his foot off the breaking pitch, 0-2.
And if you're Mundy, you have to be very careful in this 0-2 count to not leave something up in the zone. You already gotten Becker once today. He's 0 for 1, but he can get you. He's one of the best hitters on this team.
Leads the league in RBIs just in front of Lincoln Stevenson. Mentioned that in the bottom half of the second. Ball way out of it, and as it faded off the plate, 1-2.
Not necessarily a bad miss if you're Mundy. With how his breaking stuff moves, a curveball that strays a little too far outside will complement his fastball potentially, or that slider if it stays in that similar spot, and then it can break in and catch that back door.
78 total runs for the Glacier Pilots this year. This guy's hit in 19 of them. Parentoni over to Medlock. They'll take the out at second. Good play by Parentoni, and it will be 1 out, but the runners are at the corners.
Yeah, Becker's got a lot of speed. It would have been tough to try and get that out at first, especially with the way the momentum of Parentoni was going. When he had to feel that he turned his body, but just a little bit too far inside, so he couldn't go from short to first. So he took the out at second, which was very smart.
One 1-0 so far on the count to Burkle. The other dangerous batter on this squad that Mundy's going to have to face with a couple of soldiers on base. Smacked into left field and into the Pilots' bullpen to even up the count is 1 apiece. Couple of hitters, including Burkle, Christensen, and Becker, have had a couple of real good foul balls into foul territory that were smacked a long ways for just long strikes. 1-1 into deep left field. It's sending Bilter back towards the wall. He is going to make the catch there. The runner will tag and will score the first run of the game, but Bilter saves an extra base hit with a play in left center.
That was a great play. Bilter recognizing how close he was to the wall. It's not a big warning track out there in the outfield that lets you know how close you're getting to the wall. Bilter was looking back that way, made a sort of over-the-shoulder catch. Great play by the left fielder.
Berghold picks up an RBI. That was his 7th RBI of the season. Mentioned just 78 total runs. 19 of them were hit by, or 19 total RBIs were hit by Beckers. He's hit in 19 of their total runs. Polanco taking a strike. One and one to Polanco. We mentioned he did the job on the pitching mound. Is done okay in his last couple of games with 3 total hits in his last couple games. That is smacked a ton into the Alaska State Fairgrounds to the right side with the wind carrying it towards that way. 1-2 now. Mundy 1 pitch away from getting out of the top of the 4th with just 1 run coming across and giving it back to his high-powered offense. The 1-2 to Polanco. Swing and a miss. Connor Mundy sits him down on the high cheese. We are going to the bottom of the 3rd. It is a 1-0 game. One-0 game as the Pilots played the first run of the game in the top of the 3rd. Mundy threw 3 innings, giving up just that 1 run. And it's Elliot Medlock in the top of the order for the Miners, who are looking to start something off on the offensive side. Been quiet so far today, just 1 total hit in their first 2 innings. For the offense, who has dominated the ABL so far this season with 143 runs scored. Ball taken down and away, 1-1. Exciting news for Elliot Medlock, who committed to Rider University. Was at Bryant and then decommitted or transferred out, committed to Rider University. So congratulations to him out, and he will collect himself a base hit. And no, he will not. Andrew Becker makes me eat my words and sits down Elliot Medlock with a diving catch in left center.
Beautiful play by Becker. Had a great read on the ball off the bat, showing some athleticism. Full-out Superman dive. Shout out the new Superman movie coming out in a few days, which I'm very excited for. Andrew Becker doing his best Man of Steel impression there.
Eberhard sends the foul ball out of play, 0-1. Eberhard now setting in. The 0-1 is smacked deep into right field. It's carrying Christensen back, but he's underneath it, and it will be the second out. And Chapman's making himself through this inning pretty quickly.
Making his way to the plate. Your catcher, number 48, Carter Jeffrey.
Fly ball on the diving play by Becker in center. The takeaway Medlock's hit. Now the fly ball into right, and it's Carter Jeffrey's turn for his second AB. Righty on righty. Chapman's first offering, slide piece off the plate, 1-0. Ridge Erickson, the BYU catcher, up after Jeffrey. 1-0 fouled straight back into the catcher, and Anderson, umpire making sure he's doing okay. We'll give him just an extra second. He'll clean off the plate, give Anderson some time. No matter what, even if the catcher says, you're good, and some plays like that, umpires always take the extra 5 or 6 seconds, let them get adjusted. That's really good umpire, very professional, if I would say. One to the power hitter of Carter Jeffrey. Delivery from Chapman, too far downstairs. It's 2-1. Jeffrey, 366 so far on the year with a 483 on base percentage. Nearly the 500 mark. Thought that would be somewhat lower by this time in the year, but it just is not falling down. 2-1 to a 3-1. Jeffrey pulling back, and he'll work himself into a hitter's count. One thing that Jeffrey's really developed well from his early play to now, in my opinion, is his plate discipline and some of the pitches that he was swinging at early in the summer he is no longer swinging at. Not taking the bait. 3-1. Walking again is Carter Jeffrey, and he will take his 90 feet to bring up Ridge Erickson.
Now batting, your designated hitter, number 6, Ridge Erickson.
The BYU catcher sets in with one man on. Miners' two-out hitting has been easily the best in the ABL this season. Had a game against the Glacier Pilots where they had 10 hits with 2 outs. Evan Bilter waits on deck if Erickson can get on and move the runners into scoring position. Erickson leading this league in terms of average. And now in a 0-1 count. Slider outside. Good block by Anderson to get out there. It's 1-1. One coming. Is going to peg Erickson, and never like getting hit when you're in the batter's box as a catcher, especially after taking a beating. He's not taking a beating in this game, but Erickson does it plenty for this team, and now gets hit right in the hip. Will take his 90 feet. But it is one of the better places to be hit with a baseball, right in your hip or on the side rather than in the rib cage or on a bony part like your knee or an ankle. That's
your
just,
knee,
that's the
your
worst,
shoulder. Yeah. Or elbow, excuse me. This is a
elbow,
big spot
forearm.
for elbow, forearm.
Elbow, forearm,
wrist.
I never got hit. Yes, I never got hit in the wrist. Like I never got to the point where I got hit in the wrist. So I got hit in the forearm a couple of times, and elbows a couple of times, but never the wrist. So that one does get by Anderson, and it will go down as a wild pitch. Is He had to work his way well into the left batter's box. And it will expand the runners into second and third. And can Evan Bilter, the Brainiac, can he do it?
Bilter's come up big in these spots before. He came up big in a very similar situation in that loss to the Glacier Pilots. Hit a 2-run triple to bring that game within 1 run.
One and 0 is down the line, nearly hits Jarvis. Had some good movement over there, though, at third, down the line.
Showing his more spry days out there at the third base side.
He's not that old.
I know.
Geffrey waits off of third. Erickson behind him at second to Evan Bilter. The 1-1 goes to a 2-1. Bilter will go back to Colorado School Mines as, again, one of the centerpieces in their offense. Now trying on the 2-1. High ball into right center field. Underneath it is Christensen. And again, the Miners threaten but can't plate a run. And it would be a 1-0 game going into the fourth. One nothing game as Bilter flew out into right field to end the last inning. It'll be Rodriguez facing off against Connor Mundy. 1-0 count so far. And now that ball is hit over to Grout past his sliding glove and into left field. Just squeaks itself for a base hit. Difficult play in the hole. And Rodriguez is on with a 9th hit of the summer so far.
Yeah, Rodriguez is 2 for 2 today, doing a great job of picking up the pitch out of Mundy's hand and putting the ball in play where nobody in this Miners infield can get to it.
So, Rodriguez is now at 10 hits so far on the year, into double digits. Landon Teesing steps in. Hasn't had too great of a summer from the plate, as of rest of the Glacier Pilots hitters, as that's into left field. And it will be back-to-back hits for a couple of batters that are batting a combined $150 on the year. Pretty interesting start to this game with the leadoff batters and the first couple runners on base. It's been the Pilots that have gotten the leadoff batters in a ton of runners on base early in innings. Miners have gotten some with 2 outs, but haven't seemed to got anything before that. Ryan Christensen now against Mundy. The breaking pitch in for strike 1. Christensen hit a ball into foul territory in right field that was probably the farthest hit baseball I've seen at this field this year. Christensen off to the left side, out of play. And that is saying something with some of the home runs we've seen hit by Carter Geffrey and others. That was absolutely tanked and just floated.
And it wasn't that it
got
got out fast. The ball was hit high and far.
Towering shot. Enough to not even have Aiden Espinoza move. And that ball into left field this time, a lot shallower in the outfield. Bilters underneath makes the play, and a much-needed empty out forced by the pitcher and Connor Mundy.
Now all Mundy needs is a ground ball. He has to trust his infield defense here. Maybe leave something a little over the plate potentially to get a ground ball in a spot where he can use guys like Parentoni or Medlock or even Carson Grout to turn 2 and get out of this inning.
Now it's Zachary Anderson, who's playing in his 8th game so far for the Glacier Pilots in league play. First pitch is sky high in the infield. That'll be the infield fly rule no matter what happens, as Medlock and Eberhard are confused between each other, and Eberhard didn't seem to be too happy that time at Medlock. So they almost collided. It was the infield fly. They talk about it for a second and probably just laugh about it here in about a half an inning. 2 outs now forced by Connor Mundy on a shallow fly ball to the left, and now that infield pop-up. Strike 1 on the curve, 0-1. Dylan Marks has walked twice today. See now a total of 10 pitches. 8 of them were balls. 8 of the first 9 were in an 0-1 count here. Another breaking pitch too far inside, it looks, possibly breaking across the body of Marks a little bit too high, and it's 1-1. Marks, the Dallas Baptist kid, or excuse me, Lubbock Christian kid, and will be hit high in the shoulder. It'll take him a second to kind of just take a couple deep breaths after the pitch high and inside. Got him at the top of that shoulder, and it will load up the bases with 2 outs. Couple of hit-by pitches, one of each squad. Erickson got nailed by one, and now a little bit scarier one of Marks, who's on base for the 3rd time. 2 via walk and 1 via hit-by pitch. Ruby in with the bases loaded. The 1-0 pitch goes to a 2-0. Rodriguez waits on 3rd. Behind him, it's TC and then Dylan Marks at 1st. Hitters count now, and the 2-0 is Ruby. Quickly moves to a 3-0, and now Mundy's got to climb the ladder back with no free bag left. It was 1st and 2nd, forced a couple of clean outs on a shallow pop-up to left, and then a pop-up to Eberhard at 3rd, and then hit the batter in Marks, and now a 3-0 count to the batter in Ruby. And a high fastball possibly outside as well, and that will move a second runner home, and it is a 2-0 game in favor of the Pilots. That'll bring out pitching coach Steve Hecker out, who we talked to before the game, to talk to his starter in Connor Mundy. Seemed to be struggling with his command just a little bit in that AB. Brings up a power hitter in Andrew Becker, the last guy you want to see up if you're a Miners fan in a bases juice situation. I've talked about it already. 19 total RBIs on the season for Becker. He is the only one in that category in front of Lincoln Stevenson, who's got 18 for the Miners.
Yeah, Becker's such a dangerous hitter with runners in scoring position. Mundy has to keep this at a 2-0 game. Miners have been struggling from the plate today.
Bases juice, Connor Mundy, the first offering. It is a righty on lefty for the best hitter in the Anchorage Glacier Pilots lineup. Last 5 pitches from Mundy have all landed out of the strike zone. The pitch before that was a hit-by pitch. And now it's 6 in a row. Wind really is starting to blow here at Herman Brothers Field. You can see the fence bouncing back and forth on your camera. The 2-0 to a 3-0 count. Seven balls straight out of the strike zone. He hasn't had a strike in 8 total pitches. Mundy trying to climb the ladder. The 3-0 in there for a strike.
If I'm Connor Mundy, I don't necessarily hate throwing that fastball in the same spot again. I know
3-1 incoming. Fastball is thrown again, 3-2, this time more to the outside and high. Three and two, everybody is going to be moving on the pitch with 2 outs. Everybody's moving, payoff pitch is fouled back.
Becker, one of the best hitters in this lineup, is not going to go down easily against Mundy. Mundy has to bring out his best stuff here to send Becker down.
Trying to get RBI number 20 is Becker. Payoff pitch from Mundy. Spikes to him, and it is going to be a walk. And a second run comes in, and it's a 3-0 game for the Glacier Pilots. The Miners so far this season against the Anchorage Glacier Pilots, 6-1, and that looks to be it for Connor Mundy. Tyler Brunn's coming out, new arm coming in when we get back. Jack Insel on the bump, coming in relief for Connor Mundy. He'll face Adam Burkholton in his first offering. Is high on the breaking pitch. Bases are juiced as that ball is drilled into left field, blown back by the wind and straight to the glove of Evan Bilter. 2 runs more for the Pilots. It's a 3-0 game. It's a Miners offense looking to strike. Three 0 game. It's Aiden Espinoza on a very windy day in Herman Brothers. Sorry to Pedro Camacho, who runs the Synergy cameras and is the bullpen catcher for this team, but your Synergy cam's staying down now. It's fallen, I think, maybe
this
7 times.
This is the 4th time on broadcast.
So, yeah, it's
4
staying
times
down.
in 4 innings.
It's staying down. 3-0 game. Anchorage Glacier Pilots playing 2 more in the top half of the 4th. Got Connor Mundy out of the game. Jack Hinsel did a good job of getting the first out when he came in. Just 1 hit so far for this Matsu Miners squad on a game that's kind of flipped script a little bit from a normal game against the Glacier Pilots.
And something to pay attention to, Chapman's only right now sitting at around 46 pitches. Very, very efficient outing so far for the right-handed pitcher.
Espinoza over to second, and off-balance throw made by Ruby. There is 1 away.
Stepping up to the plate, third baseman number 16, Carson.
242 average for Carson Grout coming to this game. Does have 11 RBIs, 1 homer on the year. Struggle as of late. Carson Grout, very talented baseball player, could turn it around in 1 hit and put together a streak. The 0-1 into left center field. Rodriguez looks to be under it and will be, as it carried into more into left center from left field. There's 2 away.
All the way from center field, number 30, Lincoln Stevenson.
Lincoln Stevenson now, as we mentioned, he's got 18 total RBIs on the year. Leads this Matsu Miners in that category. Came over after exhibition play from Central Missouri. After taking the first strike, the 0-1 coming from Finn Chapman. In there for a second strike, 0-2 quickly to Lincoln Stevenson. Greg Parentoni's after that. But Chapman nearly threw 4 innings of work and keeping a 0 on the board for the Miners. 0-2 with 2 outs. Did he go? No, he did not. It was too high, 1-2. Stevenson did a good job to pull his bat back to stay in this count. Chapman allowed just 1 hit to this Miners squad. 1-2 try. Into right field off the curve underneath is Christensen. He makes the play. And it is a 1-2-3 for the Miners. Through 4 innings of play, it's the Glacier Pilots looking for their second win versus Matsu of the summer.
I'm Jack Insel.
Michael Keneally.
Where'd you guys go to school? I go to Barry University in Florida.
Go to Gonzaga University.
It's warm and it's in Miami.
I'm from Spokane, where Gonzaga is, so always wanted to go there.
It's a good opportunity to play against some good competition, and it's in Alaska. It's pretty far from home, so I guess it's cool to be out in the mountains.
It's a good league, good team. Come up, get some more innings, and have some fun while doing it.
I can juggle.
I'm pretty good at the kendama thing.
Ooh, I can surf.
Say playing basketball.
One time, one of our position players was on bucket in center field, and he got almost hit by a baseball, and so the coach made him run with the L screen around the whole field. So that was pretty cool.
I'll say my team at Gonzaga.
Welcome back in the broadcast as the camera's moving just a little bit. Mention a windy day. We'll get it fixed for you on the broadcast, but working with a really shaky fence, really windy day that's blowing down all of our Synergy cameras that are used for all the recruiting and everything for this team that we got down the sides. As those are blowing around, the camera's blowing around, we're trying to do the best we can. Edison Polanco's going to come in to be the first batter. We'll get that fence out of your screen here in just a couple of seconds. There we go, a little bit cleaner screen for you guys. 1-1 count so far to Polanco. And swinging through another strike. Really good pitching coming from Finn Chapman of the Glacier Pilots so far through the first 4 innings. 4 zeros for the Miners. It's usually the Glacier Pilots on the 0 stretch for the offensive side against the Miners, who have really just struggled to plate runs against Matsu. Two 2 over to Eberhard. Candy Hop actually bounces off his glove, scoops it up, and makes the play unassisted. Not as clean as Eberhard normally makes the play, but he makes the play nonetheless. There's 1 out.
Doesn't matter how it gets done as long as it gets done.
Now B.J. Rodriguez, who had himself a hit so far in this game. is 2 for 2 with a run scored. 10 total hits for Rodriguez now on the summer, as that is inside with the fastball 1-0. Just the second multi-hit game for B.J. Rodriguez of this season. Taking a 2-0 from the pitcher from Berry College in Florida, and Jack Insel, Jacksonville, Florida native. Over to Medlock and in to right field it goes. Scorched baseball right on the edge of the outfield, and that will be a 3 for 3 day for B.J. Rodriguez.
Yeah, Rodriguez, a guy who normally does not have a lot of production at the plate outside of walks, does get on base a lot, but today getting on base with his bat and not his eye at the plate.
Mentioned just 8 hits coming into today. He's got 3, moving up to 11 as Landon Teesing's coming in. His hit is into left field. The wind blows it back into the glove of Bilter. Retreating back is Rodriguez, 2 away. Ryan Christensen now with 2 outs. It's up to him to try to move Rodriguez farther across the base paths. Still in search of that first hit in regular season action. Did have a couple of hits, as I mentioned, against or in that 4th of July matchups. Oh for 2 so far, makes him 0 for 30 in league play, as that goes in for a strike. 0-2 now. One more strike needed from Jack Insel to shut down the top of the 5th. Here it comes. Curve down and in. Last pitch missed. Now Jack Insel trying to get the payoff. Into right field down the line. Espinoza will field it quickly, not before Rodriguez is going to end up at third. And there will be runners at the corners with 2 outs and more 2-out base runners for the Glacier Pilots in this game, completely flipping the script on the Miners.
And these are situations where we've seen Jack Insel struggle when he gets 2 quick outs in the inning, then a base hit, and then he gets himself in situations like this with now a runner in scoring position at third and now a runner at first, potentially with a chance to steal a base now with Anderson coming up.
His last outing, he went 2 2/3. Couldn't get that last out in the 3rd inning against the Bucks. Ended up giving up 4 total runs. He left the bases loaded. Colin Miskelly came in, and those runs came across on him, but credited to Jack Insel. Oh 1 so far to now an 0-2 to the catcher in Anderson. Back-to-back 0-2 counts for Jack Insel. Last one went 1-2 and a base hit for Teesing. This 0-2. Swing and a miss. Beautiful breaking pitch by Jack Insel. 2 base runners will be stranded for the Pilots. It's still a 3-0 game. Bottom of the 5th on its way. 3-0 game at Herman Brothers Field. It is Greg Parentoni leading things off in the bottom of the 5th for the Miners, who have just produced one total hit in this game.
Yeah, and that one hit was a bloop single off of Carson Grout's bat that B.J. Rodriguez almost caught out there in left field. So Finn Chapman has done a really good job of limiting and controlling this very volatile offense that is the Miners.
Righty-on-righty matchup, high and inside on the first offering. Parentoni mentioned player of the week last week for the Miners. Got his average up to 347 on the year now as he'll take a ball in the dirt off a break. It's 2-0 now. Got a good set of hitters in this inning as it goes from Parentoni into the top of the order with Elliot Medlock up next. Carter Eberhard and Carter Geffrey after that. 2-0 to a 3-0 high and inside for the second time. Three and 0 incoming. High and tight again, and Parentoni will walk on 4 straight pitches. And it's not that the Miners have not gotten runners on, it just haven't been able to drive them in quite yet.
Yeah, and that's the 5th walk of the day that Chapman's given up. Rich Erickson was hit by a pitcher. They've had 6 guys on that weren't off of the hit. The one obviously was Carson Grout.
First time that the Miners have had the leadoff batter on base tonight. It is Greg Parentoni. Now Medlock, who seems healthy, in for the 0-0 count. Checking Parentoni first, and he's in there safely off the back pick. Or pick off, I should say, sorry. Now the first offering to Medlock is a breaking ball, swing and a miss from Medlock. Had him fooled on the first offering. Will make its way to the second. Parentoni off of first. That is inside and high. It'll get Parentoni to second after a pass ball bouncing off the glove of Anderson to a 1-1 count. Puts Parentoni in scoring position. Medlock trying to get something to the right side to at least get Parentoni farther over. Next offering from Chapman to Medlock on its way. Too far off the plate, 2-1. Medlock had a couple of hits in the one game he played previously to this when he came back from the hamstring injury. He was 2 for 4 in that game. Couple of singles. 2-1 pitch lands in, 2 apiece.
Medlock's so animated in the batter's box. Every time a pitch comes in, whether he agrees with the call or not, always shaking his head, sort of nodding to himself if a pitch misses outside.
Now down to the 2-2 even count. 5th offering from Chapman to Medlock. Fouled away, staying alive. Defensive swing for Medlock. What can the .320 hitter do to try and do a job for the Miners with the 2-2 count again? 6th pitch of the AB incoming. Check swing. Did he go? No, he did not. 3-2. Elliot Medlock's almost got a little bit of that Juan Soto swag in the batter's box, kind of, with his little
He's
side
so
steps.
animated. He
Yeah.
does the sidestep, the head nod, the shoulder shake.
Now it's the full count payoff pitch. Here it comes from Chapman. In front of it, Medlock out to the left side and foul. Staying alive again. We'll see pitch number 8 in the AB. So work to the pitch count of Chapman. He's had a lot of walks in this game, but has kept the runners off the board for Matsu at their home field. Three and two again. This time it's in play over to third base. T-Sing makes a one-legged throw, and that's off to the left side as well, so Parentoni stays put. Bring up Carter Eberhard to try to do a job with one out. Another hitter that's batting over 300. This Miners squad as a whole batting now over 300, a 301 batting average. 383 on the on-base percentage as Price is going to come out. And I wonder if this is going to be it. It will be for Chapman. Real good outing for him. He got himself through 4 1/3. They'll go to their bullpen when we come back. Welcome back into the broadcast. It's Carter Eberhard who will lead things off for this Miners squad. Parentoni still waits at second. First pitch is fouled off and chopped to the right side.
With runners in scoring position today, the Miners have really struggled, something that we're not used to, especially over this 9-game winning streak. 0 for 4 today so far through 4 1/3 innings.
New pitcher in Cameron Whitty. Pitches at Westcliff University. Pretty good team last year, and he pitched for 42 innings on that team. Was the third most in terms of innings. Had a 4.04 ERA in his 15 total appearances. 6 total games started for him. He did have an opponent batting average of .278, but kept the runs from crossing up the plate with that 4.04 ERA. 18 walks compared to 53 strikeouts for him last season. The 0-1 is hit into right center field. Parentoni's racing towards home, and he is going to make it there with no throw. And the Miners have finally gotten the goose egg off the board. It's 3-1 coming in is Carter Eberhard with a clutch hit.
This Miners lineup was bound to break through eventually. Carter Eberhard, obviously, the guy to do it here and the one we should have expected to do it. When there's a runner on base, especially in scoring position, Carter Eberhard led the league and led this team in RBIs at one point before Lincoln Stevenson and Andrew Becker took the crown from him.
Geffrey now up, and he'll hit a ball into right center or right field, and it's going back, and it is gone! Carter Geffrey, long shot to right field, and we will crack open the salsa jar. It's Uppo Taco time at Herman Brothers.
The Miners were down, but they are never out as Carter Geffrey comes through to tie this game up with a long shot to right field. The wind died down, and he kept it fair, and when it landed, it's a 3-3 ball game.
So all of a sudden, it's the Miners' bats coming to life again. As you know it, in the middle of the innings is in the bottom of the 5th. I was waiting for that ball to see if it was going to carry out of play, much like Christensen's. But it landed, I don't even know where. And Erickson's going to be hit with a second pitch, and, you know, the first time he took it pretty cleanly. The second time he's like, oh, man, come on, same spot 2 times in a row.
Same spot, catches him a little more towards his back, right by that spine, which is not a nice spot to get hit.
So after giving up the homer, now hitting Erickson with a pitch, and it's Evan Bilter up now. He'll poke a ball into right field. Running for it's Christensen. He'll make the catch. Erickson will quickly retreat to first, and it will be 2 outs now.
Now batting right fielder, number 7, Aiden Espinoza.
Aiden Espinoza, the UCLA kid, steps in with 2 outs. 3-3 game. After Eberhard got a RBI single, and then it was Carter Geffrey who changed the game around to a 3-3 tie. Ball downstairs to the 1-1 count. High fastball is going to the 2-1 count. Cameron Willie from Eagle River, Alaska. Pitched a lot around these parts in his high school days. Was a great pitcher before going off to Westcliff University, as that goes to a 3-1. Hitters count for Espinoza. After that, it is Carson Grout. Back-to-back lefties to face against the righty. And now a 5-pitch walk And all of a sudden, the Miners looking to take the lead with a runner in scoring position, and Carson Grout stepping in.
Now batting number 16, Carson Grout.
Well, into left field, line towards Rodriguez, and he will make the catch after it nearly went over his head, and will keep the game at a 3-3 score. Big drive by Carter Geffrey to change this game. It is all tied up through 5.
My name is Elliot Medlock, and I'm from Bryant University.
My name is Carter Geffrey. I'm from the University of Iowa.
I picked my college because of the culture and the coaches. I mean, the culture there, everyone loves everyone, the family's great, and we're all about family at Bryant University. I came to Matsu Miners because I always wanted to come to Alaska and play baseball. This league has bred very great baseball players, and it would be an honor to play in this league.
I came to Alaska because my coach, Marty Sutherland, was like, hey, you want to go play in Alaska? And I was like, oh, yeah.
My top 2 movies are probably Sandlot and Step Brothers.
Hey! Did you touch my drumstick?
Hey, knock it off!
I know you touched my drumstick.
Yeah, I got to go with Sandlot as well, and then Prestige.
Probably Larry the Lobster.
Breathe, darn you!
Larry the Lobster? Okay. I'm going to have to go SpongeBob.
All right, best SpongeBob laugh on camera.
Oh my goodness, no.
You're not passing on this one.
Dude, I actually couldn't. What is it?
Back on the broadcast for you. Sorry, our camera nearly took a dump in the middle of that half inning as Jack Insel is back on the bump. It's Dylan Marks to face him first. Marks has been on 3 times today. 2 via walk, 1 due to a hit by pitch, as he'll take an even 1-1 count now. A 3-3 game thanks to the Miners hitting. Carter Eberhard coming in again, and Carter Geffrey matching it. The Carter duo comes through with those 3 runs. Scored Parentoni, who got on to lead off the inning. 1-2 on the count to Dylan Marks. Breaking pitch is just poked into right field and gets a base hit, and Marks is on for the 4th time in the game.
Yeah, Mark's on for the 4th time today, collecting his first base hit, giving the Pilots their 9th hit of the game. This is a team that does not normally get a lot of hits against the Miners, but one away from double digits.
Next offering in there for a strike on the slider, 0-1. Next offering is in there again. Defensive swing fouled away to an 0-2. 9 hits for the Pilots, 3 hits for the Miners, but it is a 3-3 game at Herman Brothers Field. Yo, 2 high inside, 1-2. A ball hit into left field. Bilter's underneath, playing shallower in left field right now due to the wind, as Espinoza looks like he's playing deeper in right field as well, just playing where the wind is blowing right now. Geffrey's ball flew out well over the fence in right field for the homer. It was just a ball about if it was going to be fair or foul. I was waiting for her to see if Christensen, or the ball by Christensen that was hit 1.5 miles, floated foul. Becker out and out of play to the left side. That's in there for a strike. 0-2 now. One out in the inning. Mark's still over at first. Becker, defensive swing, staying at an 0-2 count.
Defensive swing, but barely got a piece of it right off the end of the bat.
I use Javier Baez too much for bad swings.
I mean,
maybe I do, but he was an all-star this year. So shout out to
He was an all-star
shout out
center
to a
fielder
past
this
Cub.
year.
Yeah, and switching to the outfield too, and then playing.
Sometimes
as good as
that's
he
all
can.
you need.
Yeah, it's Becker over to Eberhard. Could be to Parentoni. Back to Eberhard. It's the double play. See a lot of those in this camel green for the Miners. It's a 3-3 game. Bottom of the sixth on its way for the Miners offense. Back in the Miners broadcast, a windy day from Herman Brothers Field. If you haven't been with us in this game, it was 1 run in the top of the third, 2 runs in the top of the fourth for the Pilots. The big 3-run inning in the last time the offense was up to bat with 3 runs in the bottom of the fifth for the Miners. Carter Geffrey was a big reason why with a 2-run oppo shot into right field. In there for a called strike. 1-1 even to the first batter, Lincoln Stevenson. So far today, Stevenson 0 for 1. He does have 1 walk on his days. That ball, it almost looked like it got floated with the wind to a 2-1. Greg Parentoni, who started off the last inning in the on-deck circle, as Stevenson's worked himself to a friendly hitter's count at 3-1. One out of 5 getting the leadoff batter on in this game. Looking to go 2 for 6. Not before a fastball is going to be called a strike to move it to a full count from the Eagle River native.
Lee trying to get that bounce back inning in a 3-2 with Stevenson.
Candy hop over to short, fired over to first, and it was dropped. dropped by Berghold at first base. It's going to put Stevenson on via air, and it will bring up Parentoni.
Not the start you want if you're Whitty, giving up 3 runs to tie this game in the last bottom half, and now the leadoff man's aboard after a dropped catch from your first baseman. Just not great for the confidence of Whitty.
A ball down for Parentoni on the bunt. Perfect bunt down the line. He is thrown out at first, but he does his job again and gets the runner over. And now 180 feet from the lead is the runner on in Stevenson with Medlock coming up.
This is a big spot for Medlock, looking to sort of re-find his spot in this lineup after missing a couple games with that hamstring injury.
A ball got away a little bit from Anderson. Good read by Stevenson, and he ends up now 90 feet away.
And that makes Medlock's job so much easier because he no longer has to bat 1,000. A ball hit deep enough into the outfield can score that run.
As Landon said, just 1 out. Deep ball to the outfield, scores them. Runners are in on the infield grass. They are playing cut defense. 1-1 count to Medlock. Got a fast runner in Stevenson. If there's a slow roller, it would be a real close play at the plate if Stevenson decided to go, as that's downstairs 2-1. The 2-1 now. Hammered into left field. That'll easily score Stevenson. Medlock comes through, racing for second, and will get there, bad hamstring and all. And it is a 4-3 game. The Miners have taken back the lead.
Elliot Medlock was bound to come through at some point. Wasn't going to stay 0 for 3 on the day. Definitely wasn't going 0 for 4. Picks it up an RBI as well after the double.
Ball is poked into center field. Second straight hit, and Medlock's going to hold up at third. They do not want to push him as a runner right now. And now will be runners at the corners with still 1 away.
And this brings up a big spot for Carter Geffrey. Just went yard. There's no one warming in this bullpen for the Glacier Pilots. Whitty has to face Geffrey and has to face whoever comes up after him with runners at the corners.
Offerings down low to the power hitter and Carter Geffrey. 4-3 game in the bottom of the 6th. Geffrey takes a ball inside with the heater. 2-0 favorable count to the hitter now. Runners are still on the corners. You got some speed in Eberhard over at first. Not the quickest of runners on this team, but still has a lot of speed. But it's quickly to a 3-0 count. Geffrey more than likely going to see one here. The 3-ball pitch is downstairs, and that will load back up the bases. And this time it's Ridge Erickson's turn to take some hacks.
And Erickson obviously hoping he gets to take a hack here, been hit by a pitch in similar spots his last 2 ABs.
And that'll bring out pitching coach before anything else. Erickson so far today is 0 for 1 of those 2 hit by pitches. Evan Bilters after Erickson. 3 hits now for the Miners with runners in scoring position. And Erickson would love a big 4th one.
Still nobody getting hot in the Glacier's Pilots bullpen. Obviously, Whitty's one pitch away if he can get Erickson to put a ball on the ground.
Four-three game, 1 out. Done with the mound meeting, and it will be a strike one after. Good result on the first pitch after the mound visit. Erickson's back in. 1 out in the inning in a 4-3 game. Nice block by Anderson not to let that get away. 1-1. Mentioned Erickson's average still right around 400 on the summer. Leads the ABL in that category. As that is outside again, 2-1. The 2-1 try to Erickson. Lands in there, evens up the count at 2s apiece. Couple of looking strikes for Erickson, and sandwiched between were 2 balls. Two and two to a 3-2. Three and 2 count, payoff pitch on its way, biggest one of the game. Erickson into deep left center field. Underneath is Becker. He's going to make the throw over to third instead of home, and that will score run number 5. And in the last 2 innings, the Miners' bats have come alive both with the hits and situational hitting, and will bring up Evan Bilter with 2 away.
From left field, number 31, Evan Bilter.
One and 0 count. Bilter, one of the 2 players that have gotten clutch nicknames on this team. Him and Eberhard were 2 of the clutchest players so far, as he'll be hit by the pitch in the left shoulder, and that will load right back up the bases, this time with 2 outs, and it's Aiden Espinosa's turn.
And this brings Espinosa up in a huge spot. 2 outs, bases loaded. Espinosa has a couple of RBIs, but hasn't had that signature Miner moment yet so far this season. If you go up and down this lineup, each player has had a moment where they've come through in a big spot. This potentially could be Espinosa's.
First offering to Aiden Espinosa in for a strike. When we talk to Pete Christopher, our general manager for the Matsu Miners, he says in the 20-some years that he's been here, this could possibly be the best hitting team that the Miners have put together. Espinosa into left field. Underneath it's Rodriguez having a race for it and makes the diving catch. The ball sunk fast, but he made the dive and keeps this game at 5-3. Oh, B.J. Rodriguez steals a couple RBIs away. We're going to the 7th inning, 5-3 game. Back in the Miners broadcast, Dylan VanderVeen, Landon Stilz. It is a 5-3 game now into the top of the 7th. Garrett Bowman is the new pitcher. Jack Insel's day is done. Bowman's been one of the best pieces, if not the best one, from the Miners' pen so far this year, as he'll land into a 1-1 count. The 1-1 too far downstairs. 2-1 now.
Yeah, and we talked about how dominant Bowman has been out of the pen, sort of just being one of the best arms for the Miners. But to put numbers to it, he's only given up 1 run. He's got a .67 ERA on 8 hits. The only run he brought in was on a bases loaded hit by pitch. Opposing hitters are batting .175 off of Garrett Bowman currently.
Ball into right field. Espinosa's trailing it back and makes the catch outside of his body. But it will be an out forced by Garrett Bowman. Now we'll bring up Polanco. Oh for 3 so far today. Ground out, a fly out, and a strikeout as well. Bowman, we talk about his pitch to that 6.7 ERA, just absolutely flawless for him with 10 Ks and just 1 walk on the year. Has pegged a couple of batters, as the one Landon mentioned. The 0-1 quickly to a 1-1. That ball landed a little bit low. Bowman wanted some clarification, and he got the nod from the umpire when he signaled if it was low. 1-1 to a 1-2 this time, as there's a massive gust of wind now. All of a sudden, the tornadoes came onto our field, apparently.
And I'm going to go fix the camera.
Yeah, apparently so. Strike 3 called for Garrett Bowman, out number 2, and he's 1 out away from finishing the top half of the 7th. Ball just outside. 1-0 start for Bowman against the batter in B.J. Rodriguez, who's been the most talented hitter probably. Falling behind 2-0 in the count. Rodriguez so far on the day is 3 for 3, moving his total hit count to 8-11 on the summer. Might push him over the 200 percentage on the year as that goes downstairs. 3-0 now. Rodriguez does lead this league in total walks, 16 of them this season. Looking to get 17 on a 3-0 count from Bowman. Landing for a strike 1. Trying to climb the ladder is the new Angelo State pitcher. Played his ball at Sam Houston State last year. And now to a 3-2. 3 straight balls, a strike looking, and then that foul ball right there has forced us to the 3-2. 1 strikeout for Bowman on the game, looking for number 2. 3-2, hit into center field. It is sky high and well back. Underneath it now is Stevenson, and he will make the play. A clean top of the 7th. Going to the bottom half, Miners looking for more than a 2-run lead.
I'm Garrett Bowman. I'm in the transfer portal. Cole Marthel, Johnny, Sam Houston. I just heard, had a couple buddies play for Matsu last year, so I heard great things, great competition, so just looking forward to compete.
Yeah, I mean, it sounded pretty cool. Seemed like a fun place to be, and I need somewhere to play to get seen by some schools. So
probably juggling. I can juggle, so say that's
ride a
pretty
unicycle.
You should ride a unicycle?
Yeah.
That's fire.
Probably go with 7 and the Prestige.
Perfect game in Lion King.
Spots are hot. Spots are hot.
If I pitch bad, I shave.
Welcome back to the Miners broadcast, taking you around the ABL League. One more game going on today. It is the Eagle River Chinooks. As Grout will ground one out over to first and step on the bag in time. Did he? Yes, he did. Getting over cleanly was Whitty, and getting out Grout on just the second pitch. Lincoln Stevenson coming up, but a 1-0 game right now with the Anchorage Bucks leading over the Eagle River Chinooks, who are down to their last out in the top of the ninth at Mulcahy Stadium.
That'll be a huge win for the Bucks, especially if this score holds here. They'll game a third game on the Glacier Pilots and really seemingly start to lock up that championship spot with the Miners.
On top of that, it'll also put the Chinooks down pretty much past everybody. It was a really important game for Chudiak to come out with the win today. Right now, they're 3 games behind the Bucks as that lands low. 2-1 now on the count. Stevenson so far today is 0 for 2, but scored a run. Got on base due to air once, as that goes to a 3-1 hitter's count. Miners 15-5. The Bucks, if they win today, they'd be 11-10, 10-10 right now. Glacier Pilots 8-12, while the Chinooks are 7-13. Stevenson off of the glove of the second baseman in Ruby. Looks like he had the out on the line out, but Stevenson reaches. That one's up the middle, could be 2, stepping on the bag, firing to first, and it will be a double play, and that will do it for the bottom of the 7th. Stevenson gets on via air, but a ground ball double play after that. We're going to the 8th, 5-3 game. Back on the Miners broadcast, Dylan VanderVeen, Landon Stilz right next to me. That 1-0 game did stand as the Bucks have defeated the Chudiak Eagle River Chinooks, a 1-0 score at Mulcahy Stadium. So that will move the Anchorage Bucks up to 11-10 on the year, and will drop the Eagle River Chinooks to 7-14, who just can't seem to get out of that 0-6 hole that they started themselves in.
Yeah, that 0-6 hole really just rearing its ugly head for the Chinooks. A very good team down in Eagle River, but things just didn't go their way to start the season. Pitching wasn't good, the bats weren't hitting well, and then they just couldn't make up any of those games down the stretch, especially down the stretch this season.
Swing and a miss for Teesing, and we fouled back into the catcher's mitt of Geffrey. 1-2 count now. Swing and a miss. Bowman gets another strikeout, his second.
Now batting number 23, Ryan Christensen.
Bowman hasn't had a ton of work as of recent. You would wonder if why not throw him for the 8th and the 9th if you're them for that 3-inning save.
Especially with the stuff that Bowman has showed early on today in this outing, especially in that first inning. 2 strikeouts. This is only pitch number 19 for Garrett Bowman. Let him stretch out. Let him get some work. Normally we see him as the closer, but he hasn't, as you said, Dylan, come out and pitched a lot of games. Miners have been up by 5, sometimes either 4 or 5, even sometimes run-ruling teams over this winning streak. So Bowman hasn't got the normal amount of innings that you would expect him to.
Christensen staying alive. Is 1 for 3 on the game. Got his first hit of the regular season today. The 0-2 on the 4th offering to Christensen. Bowman misses low and inside. One and two try this time. Again, lands too far inside. 2s apiece. Slid right off the plate. And Bowman will reset before the 2-2 6th pitch of the AB. Started off 0-2, now the 2-2. Fouled away, staying alive is the Sacramento State kid. Changeup lands well out of the zone. Ends up in the right batter's box to the lefty and Christensen. Now the 3-2 with 1 out. The payoff pitch, swing and a miss. Bowman, Christensen made it a little interesting, but Bowman gets the K regardless. Number 3, and it will be 2 outs in the top of the 8th.
Number 20, Zachary Anderson.
Zachary Anderson now coming up. First offering is a nice breaking ball that lands right on the center of the plate. Moved from really the batter end of the plate in less than probably 5 feet. Does the same thing, 0-2. Bowman trying to lower his ERA even farther past a .6. The 0-2 with 2 outs. High cheese, not going to get Anderson to chase. This was a 3-0 game at the end of the 4th. Miners scored 5 in the 5th, 2 in the 6th, and now another swing and a miss. Bowman gets it done. 4 strikeouts for him. We are going to the bottom of the 8th. Elliot Medlock, the leadoff batter for this team in the inning and the game, started off at the top of the order for this bottom of the eighth. Medlock, Eberhard, Geffrey, Erickson, the first four. Still on the bump is Cameron Whitty, the Eagle River kid, throwing the ball one. Bucks move to 11-10 in the standings. The Chinooks 7-14 with that 1-0 win over Eagle River at home that ended just about 20 minutes ago. The Miners are trying to win go on a double-digit winning streak for the second season in a row. They won 11 games last year, sandwiched in between two games where they lost 3 in a row and then lost 4 in a row. Big swing from Medlock going to a 2-1. If the Miners did win this game, they'd stay 5 games over the Bucks. The Pilots would fall 3 games behind Anchorage, and the Chinooks would be 1 game still behind the Glacier Pilots. Give some breathing room to the Anchorage Bucks, who would be 3 games above the rivals of the Anchorage Glacier Pilots. Medlock over to third, fielded cleanly by Teesing, over to first, 1 away.
Stepping up to the plate, first baseman number 29, Carter Eberhard.
Now back-to-back Carters with Carter Eberhard. Carter Geffrey, who did all the damage in that 3-run inning in the bottom of the 5th. It was a RBI single from Carter Eberhard before the 2-run jack by Carter Geffrey. Coming into this game, still the 14 RBIs, now at 15 for Eberhard. So this will be a 1-1, and it looks like a balk is going to be called. Yeah, looks like maybe a disengagement rule, but I'm not sure what it was. But it will go to a 1-1 to now a 2-1 count. Do have an arm warming up in the pen. It is Michael Malky who's warming up for the Mat-Su Miners right now in the pen. As Eberhard drives the ball deep to right field, and it ends up being caught by Michael Malky on the bump in the bullpen. There you go.
That California Baptist connection between the two CBU kids.
The 2-2 poked up the middle and into center field. Eberhard collects his 3rd hit of the game, and it brings in Carter Geffrey. Geffrey smoked the ball that went well over the right field fence for an Oppo Taco home run. Just a runner on first in Carter Eberhard. 6 total hits now on the day for the Miners. 8 on the side of the Glacier Pilots. Still a couple hits in front of the Miners in that category. 2 errors for the Glacier Pilots, none for the Miners so far in this game. (1-0) fouled off for a 1-1 to the power hitter of Geffrey. Him and Medlock now tied up in the home run category at 3s apiece. That really hasn't moved past that in the Alaska baseball rankings. One spins well outside, 2-1. And that's going to be another balk called against the young Eagle River native, and that will put Eberhard over at second this time as there's a runner on. Three balks total in this game, or technically one illegal pitch. It was called for a ball on the count, and then 2 balks. Three and 1 to Carter Geffrey. The delivery is fouled away. Both strikes are foul balls, and it's a 3-2 full count with 1 out. Eberhard still waits at second, trying to be picked up. (3-2). Geffrey hits a ball 1.5 miles again to right field. It floats pretty far out there, but foul.
Very similar to the shot that Christensen had all the way back in what feels like forever ago with how this game has kind of been moving along. Geffrey, very similar shot. Almost got number 2 on the day.
3-2, 7th pitch of the AB incoming. And that will walk Geffrey for the second time today, and it brings up Rich Erickson.
Making his way to the plate, your designated hitter, number 6, Rich Erickson.
Erickson 0 for 1, has been hit by a couple of pitches today. Collect himself an RBI on the sacrifice fly. So that ball's in there for a strike. The 0-1 BYU catcher and Erickson set against Whitty. Fouled straight back. It's 0-2.
Yeah, Whitty gave Erickson the high fastball. It was just a little too tempting for the BYU catcher, just getting a piece of it to make it an 0-2 count.
Both Carters sitting on base right now. One at second, one at first. The 0-2 is into center field. Dropping really quickly, Rodriguez makes the play in left center. And it will be a fly out to technically left, position 7 for the second out. Hit list so far today is Bilter. 0 for 2 so far on his qualified ABs. That ball downstairs and a wild pitch is going to spike away from Anderson, and that moves the runners from first and second to Bolton scoring position at second and third.
Bilter was up in a similar situation where he flew out with 2 away back when the Miners went down 3-0. Has a chance to come through here and extend this lead to potentially from 5-3 to 7-3 and make it a non-save situation for the Miners.
Well, high and outside, 2-0 now. Next offering from Whitty. Fouled away. Bowman right now, the pitcher that is in. He's got 1 save for the Miners. See if he'll stay in or if it will be Michael Malky, who's still warming up in the pen.
It would definitely be interesting to see Malky come in and get his second save opportunity. He already has a couple wins on the starting mound.
Bilter into right field, and that'll do it for the bottom of the 8th. Stranding a couple of runners at second and third. We are going to the top of the 9th, trying to close it out.
short.
The Anaheim Hills native and Michael Malky pitching at California Baptist University will come in and try to get the save opportunity against the Pilots in a 5-3 game.
And Malky has already gotten a save in the Anchorage counterpart in the Bucks in a 5-3 win.
Beautiful breaking pitch in for strike one.
Oh my gosh, that was disgusting.
And firing another off-speed pitch for an 0-2, but that first pitch was just absolutely ridiculous.
I'm sorry, if I'm a hitter and I see that, I walk back to the dugout. Your first pitch coming out of the pen is that?
The 0-2 goes with the fastball this time, and it's delivered into right field. So Dylan Marks is on yet again in this game for the 5th time.
All right, I'm just going to eat my words, Dylan Marks. Good job.
Good piece of hitting, driving it in a place that, really can just poke it to shallow outfield, and does just that to get on, and does just enough to get himself a hit.
And this brings up the tying run of the plate for the Glacier Pilots. A team that, against Garrett Bowman, earlier in that 7th and 8th inning, could not string anything together. We'll see if they can do it here against Malky, but it's not necessarily an easy task. Malky's been one of, if not the best, starting pitcher in this league so far this season.
He's only faced the Glacier Pilots one time, was back in a start on June 26th, as that offering is down in the dirt. Good breaking ball, gets him fooled, 1-1. It was the 13-3 win. He pitched 5 innings, gave up 1 earned run, 2 total runs on 2 hits, struck out 7. That's the only time he's faced against the Glacier Pilots this summer. The 1-1 is spiked towards the plate. Good block by Geffrey, and it's a 2-1.
And that's the one thing Malky has to be careful with. His curveball has a lot of downward movement. It spikes in the plate a lot. Geffrey needs to be prepared to get in front of it and block it, especially with the leadoff man aboard, trying to keep him out of scoring position.
And a half-notch swing that time by Ruby, as it will go to a 2-2, fooled by Malky. And now the next 2-2 offering. The delivery, a breaking ball over to Malky. He's going to second. He'll make the play there. Firing over to first, not in time. Good job by Malky to get the lead runner on a ball that was thrown about 116 miles an hour to second base.
Yeah, Malky just put everything he had on that throw to second. Parentoni went down to the ground on the slide from Marks. The throw was going to be late no matter what. He's okay.
That ball's hit into left field, and Bilter's underneath it and makes the catch. That's the second out of the inning.
Stepping up to the plate, number 15, Adam Burkholdt.
That'll bring up Adam Burkholdt now. 2 outs in the inning. Runner is on first.
Don't necessarily expect him to steal, especially in a 2-out situation. You don't want the final out of a game with the tying run up at the plate to be on the base paths.
That ball's hit a ton into right field, going back towards the wall, and bounces off the top. Ruby's being sent around. The throw is going to be cut off by Eberhard, and that was about a half a foot away from tying up the game. That ball was less than 6 inches away from being out.
Whew. Deep breaths in and out, everyone. That was a great piece of hitting from Burkholdt to sky that ball into right field, taking it the opposite way, using the wind to his advantage. Wind was maybe going 2 more miles an hour. It's a completely different ball game.
even a half a mile an hour as Steve Hecker's going to come out to talk to Malky real quick. It is a 5-4 game now. You got the tying run at second after what was a massive hit. I'm going to have to talk to Aiden Espinoza up there in right field after this game and ask him.
Did you think it was gone?
I thought it was gone.
I thought it was too.
Gone. I thought it was gone. When I saw Espinoza start running back and was running out of room, I was like, oh, no.
Oh, no.
So now it brings in Bergholt. Becker standing on second, 180 feet a game. Polanco now going on the 1-0. That came from Adam Berkholz waiting on second. Swinging through the first strike. It got away from Geffrey, but not reading it cleanly over at second base. It's 1-1.
I don't think that was not necessarily reading it cleanly. I would argue it was more not wanting to have that final out, be trying to go from second to third on a wild pitch. That, yes, it got away from Geffrey, but it wasn't necessarily far enough where you can make that argument to send Berkholz.
The 1-1, too far outside. Two and 1 count with 2 outs in the inning. The 2-1 to a 3-1 now.
And you have to be careful of your Malky. BJ Rodriguez, normally not a hitter you circled coming into the lineup every single day when you're playing the Glacier Pilots. But today, 3 for 4 has been very good from the plate.
One out away from win number 10 in a row. Landing with the breaking ball, it's 3-2 to the hitter in Polanco. 3-2 with 2 outs. Payoff pitch, 3-2. Coming, swing and a miss. Michael Malky comes in and stars again. He'll shut down the game. It got a little scary, but he gets the save. It's a 5-4 win for the Miners, and it is 10 in a row.
The Pilots fought back towards the end. This is a team that you can never count out. We've seen so many times this season, no lead is safe. The Miners know that. Michael Malky hangs a pitch that just barely stays in the park, but he's able to come in, get that final strikeout, and the Miners have won 10 in a row, double digits for the second time in 2 straight seasons.
Well, we will definitely talk to a coach and a player coming up to the press box right after this. Don't go anywhere for the postgame show. Welcome back on the Miners broadcast here with Coach Jackson Jarvis, who just watched the end of that game, and like a sigh of relief from everybody. You like those games you would rather win it by 10.
For sure. I mean, guys never lose fight. You know, that's how you get to where we are now. And so, you know, you're gonna have a lot of games throughout the summer where you get down and just got to find a way to keep grinding at bats, find a way to get into their bullpen, and then make things happen.
Yeah, I mean, they started a little bit slow today, obviously. Just a couple of hits in the first few innings, and then they exploded with Carter Geffrey hitting the 2-run bomb. But what'd you see on that 2-run shot from Geffrey as it started flowing out in right field?
I just thought he did a great job of finding the pitch, you know, that he needed. You know, with a day like today when it's blowing out as hard as it is to right field, you got to look for something middle away and then just go after it. And he did a great job of, you know, getting the pitch and then capitalizing once we got that opportunity.
And now 10 games in a row that this minor squad has came out with a win. Your offense a really big part of that. Have you ever been part of something where they're this good of a team, this sound, and 10 wins in a row like this?
Probably not. But I think the key point of it is we just play team baseball. If you look at, you know, our stats and stuff, we're pretty high up there when it comes to sack bunts and stuff. And so we're always looking to find a way to move guys up and then, you know, pass back and let the next guy do the job, because it's not about us, or it's not about us individually. It's about the team as a whole. And so we're always looking to play team baseball, and that plays as well on the other side where we're turning double plays and different stuff like that and helping our pitchers out.
Perfect. Thank you coming up here and talking to us yet again. 10 wins in a row. Go enjoy it with your team.
Appreciate it.
I'm here with the Miners player of the game, Carter Geffrey. Went 1 for 3 today with a couple of walks and a very clutch game-tying homer. Carter, what was going through your mind coming into that at-bat?
I mean, going in, I knew the wind was blowing that way, so, I mean, the entire day I was looking out over the plate. Ended up getting a fastball away, and, I mean, I didn't miss it. And, I mean, when you get it up in the jet stream like that, it's not coming back, so.
Did you know off the bat that ball was gone?
Yeah, once I hit it up and saw it in the air, I was like, yeah, it's gone.
So you've kind of now been a part of this 10-game winning streak. What has been just kind of the recipe of this team's success from the offensive side?
I think the biggest thing, and I said this earlier, was, I mean, everyone on the team loves each other. I mean, you look around the league, and, I mean, probably shouldn't say it, but I would just say our culture here at in Mat-Su, I mean, it's great. And, I mean, when you're having fun, you're hitting the ball, so.
Obviously, turning over to the pitching side, you were the catcher today. What were some of those conversations and what you were working on with pitchers during kind of the game, and especially after Michael Malky almost gave up that game-tying 2-run homer? How did you kind of approach that next hitter from the catching standpoint?
Yeah, I mean, I kind of just looked at previous games, and, I mean, it's with all the hitters. I look at their previous at-bats and, you know, kind of their takes and their swings and kind of adjust off that. So, I mean, for that other dude, I mean, it was just off speed,
off speed and more off speed, and it ended up working. So
fair enough. Well, Carter, thanks so much for coming up and
Yep.
joining us. Miners win this one 5-4 for 10 in a row. We're back at home tomorrow at 6 p.m. taking on the other team from Anchorage, the Anchorage Bucks. Have a great night, everybody.